we know this, Sean. Let's stay with football. Cowboys are bad. I mean, you're watching this stuff.
Awful.
Just like
in every facet.
And the thing that's crazy is they've been blown out 4 straight. Remember, they had won 16 straight home games at one point. So the Packers come and blow them out in the playoffs, right? So you think, wow, Jordan Love, look at what he did. He destroyed the Cowboys or whatever. Then the only problem is the first 3 home games of this year, they've been blown out as well, just like that. So I don't know if it was Jordan Love or just that it's the Cowboys and how bad they are. Of course, they gave Dak $60 million a year and all that. You know, I mean, there we go in the NFL. You know, they signed quarterbacks to all this money. They still got to sign other players. They gave CeeDee Lamb a big contract, and they have been god-awful. And
this is surprising, Rob, because they had expectations of being a not just good team, but a team that was kind of like Super Bowl or bust. Like, and you look at them now, they can't run the ball, they can't pass protect, they don't throw the ball effectively on a consistent basis.
When you bring
the defense
Ezekiel
is
Elliott,
atrocious.
What was that?
And what's crazy, Rob, Ezekiel Elliott is their best running back. They don't give him the ball. I don't know what McCarthy's doing. I'm not sure what Jerry Jones is talking about half the time. I mean, he tried to fire the local radio guy for asking him a question the other day. And then he said McCarthy's got bad plays. I don't know what's going on in Jerry's mind. And the thing that's kind of most perplexing to me, I don't really think the Cowboys like each other on offense. Like, I feel like Dak and Ferguson are pretty tight. But I don't think CD and those wide receivers like Dak. Like, you never see them interacting.
I agree. And you see CD always reacting to Dak, and they're always jawing at each other.
There's something there.
So Jerry came out and said that he thought that Mike McCarthy was drawing up bad plays. Is that the right terminology? He said designing bad plays. Is that like designing women? That was a TV show. Designing bad plays. And so here, Mike McCarthy, who doesn't have a contract for next year, who had won 13 games, 13 games 3 years in a row for the Cowboys, is without a contract. So he's playing for his contract, right? And it's not going well. He responded about Jerry's comments.
I talk to Jerry all the time. You know, we've had time to go through the self-scout, so I can't really. I didn't see the comments specifically, so but I don't think we have bad concepts in bad place. But I'll go back and check. You know, we're not where we want to be. I mean, that's clearly, and that ultimately is my responsibility, and I'm fully aware of that. But, you know, we are very diligent. We're on top of what we want to do, you know, and just like anything, you know, I just came from a walkthrough, and it's just, you know, it always goes back to communication.
So whose fault is it, Sean? Is it bad play calling? Is it Mike McCarthy's going to be the fall guy? Jerry's never the fall guy, even though he runs the place like a mom and pop store. What do you see? Bad calls? I mean, bad play design? They don't know what they're doing? What is the issue here as a team that, granted, they don't always win the big games or win the postseason, but they win a lot of games normally. They seem like they can't win.
I don't think they're that good personnel-wise. Like, especially with Parsons being out defensively, I mean,
they had a chance at Derrick Henry, and you remember they said they couldn't afford it.
And that's an all well. And then Jerry came out the other day and said if he came to Dallas, he might not be having the kind of year. He said, I don't know what Jerry's talking about. I really don't. I know one thing. Mike McCarthy obviously blamed Kellen Moore 2 years ago for the Cowboys not being able to reach what they felt like were their destined objectives and goals, which was a Super Bowl. Kellen Moore has the Eagles top 10 offensively right now. So there's always that barometer that's there. When the head coach goes and says, I can do it better than the current OC. Now the OC somewhere else, and they're doing a better job than you. I think ultimately Jerry's going to do what I'm not going to say he always does, because he does have patience at times with head coaches, but I think he's going to have to fire McCarthy at the end of the year.
Who's a better coach in your mind, Sean Peyton or Mike McCarthy?
Sean Peyton, by far.
Rob G., can you jump in? I think this is one of those things, perception.
No. Don't give me records.
No. Because that's what
Sean Payton is doing in Denver is pretty impressive.
No. You're not going to have it like that because you say, don't give me records, but that's what you go by. Because we talk about not the only barometer.
Because they're both going to have good records. One had Rodgers, the other had Breeze for the majority of their.
Okay, but the only thing is Mike McCarthy never went 3 losing seasons in a row with a Hall of Fame quarterback. That's the difference, and that's what happened.
So you're saying Dak not a Hall of Famer?
And no, he's not.
Okay.
Rob G., what do you got for me?
Sean Peyton, current coach of the Denver Broncos, career record 164, 101, a 619 win percentage. In the playoffs, he's 9-8 with 1 Super Bowl victory. Mike McCarthy, the maligned Mike McCarthy, 170 and 105, a 617 win percentage. In the playoffs, he's 500, 11, also with 1 Super Bowl victory.
But if you put these people together,
they're really the same guy.
They are.
If you just go by records.
But but when they view them, Mike McCarthy's down here and Sean Payton is up here.
I think Peyton has got more out of quarterbacks over the years than McCarthy said. McCarthy had Rodgers the entirety of his time in Green Bay.
No, I get that, but they also gave up in playoff games 40 points like 4 times. I mean, they had some other issues. But here, let me ask you this. When it comes to Sean Payton, 3 losing seasons with Drew Brees is incredible. I mean, seriously, 7-9. Rob G., was it 3 years in a row or 2 out of 3? 3 years in a row, they was 7-9 with Drew Brees. That's what tips the scale for me because you shouldn't be that bad with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
I mean, I'd have to go and peel back the layers of this to actually specifically look at.
Well, so here you go. This just to give you some context. All right. So Rob's point is that Sean Payton
pulling stats out of like the AI bubble.
3 straight losing seasons, back to back to back.
Right.
Yeah. Was that during Bounty Gate?
Yeah.
Was that Bounty Gate?
One of those years.
All right, come on. They had turmoil going on around the organization.
In total, Sean Payton has had 4 losing seasons in New Orleans. Mike McCarthy had only 3 losing seasons total in Green Bay. So it's, again, apples and oranges. It's just they're the same guy. All of Peyton's happened
and
back
Peyton's
to back.
failures, ankle. Peyton was the only head coach in NFL history with an ankle bracelet. They had him on house arrest. Like, come on.
Well, he should have been. No, it
on.
wasn't ridiculous because they warned him about it, and the league had warned him.
If you're going to suspend him, suspend him.
You know, but they did. They let him know that he shouldn't have been doing that, and nobody should feel good about. Sean, you played that game.
Let's.
You want somebody to hurt you, to go out there and not get people
hurt? First
of
all, I played when it was a gladiator league, so I have no sympathy for.
Well, it ain't that anymore.
Right, you're right. I don't have any sympathy because it was a badge of honor to play quarterback that you had to earn, and that was getting up after getting your butt knocked off multiple times.
That's what I try to tell people about. While they disrespect Joe Montana, go look when Lawrence Taylor and those guys were beheading those guys. Am I right? Like Joe Montana,
you couldn't even sit at the table with the other quarterbacks in the offseason and have a beer if you hadn't gone through that.
Yep.
These young guys that cry every time the guy touches their helmet or slide, 2 yards before the first down. Like, I don't associate, attach, or agree with that behavior in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
It is pretty incredible where the game was back then. And those guys, I remember as a kid watching the NFL when they came up with the in-the-grasp rule because so many quarterbacks got hurt one season. Yeah. And the league was like, we can't have a league where half the starting quarterbacks
could throw the ball and the defender could take 2 more steps and legally
still hit you. Right.
Yep, that was the rule. He just couldn't take a third step.
And now you can't touch anybody.
They could drive you into the ground. I mean, they could get all up with their knee and your chin strap. And you had to get up, and that was a part of being accepted into the quarterback fraternity. But the rules have been relaxed greatly.
No doubt.